or Nothing, Sabrina Fallah.
That definitely rocked. I dug that. I enjoyed that.
Yes, and in an HKC Radio tradition of supporting indie musicians and talking to indie musicians, as we have done, we talked to Heather Hutchison last hour. Now we're going to, as a nod to our history, now we're going to introduce you to somebody new. Sabrina Fallah, hello.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you guys doing?
Well, it's been an absolutely crazy night, and that's exactly.
He's catching my disease now. Oh, you should have heard me earlier. Oh my God, I wasn't even not an ounce of alcohol or any weed today, and I was just stumbling over. I was making up words. It's just words that don't exist, syllables that aren't there. We haven't done radio in 3 months,
and even during the 3 months 3 months ago, it was still been like 8 months since we did it freaking regularly. So we've been kicking off the rust. That's for damn sure. So let us talk about Sabrina Fallah as Sabrina Fallah talks about Sabrina Fallah. Musicals since coming out of the womb is from what I understand.
Yes.
Is that actually documented? Did you actually pop out and just start, is there footage of this somewhere?
Yeah, I was born, and then for some reason I went right into the music scene.
Wait, hold on. Chip has to say something. Yeah, that's how they started that group, Baby Metal. I was like, you just come in there, take a sippy cup and start playing. Shut up, Chip. Please shut up, Chip.
That's awesome.
I didn't want to let him do it, but anyway. But yeah, no, do you have an actual, do you have a moment in your life where you remember oh, okay, I want to do this? Or was it something for me, it was my parents told me a story when I was 3 and they bought me this little toy piano, which I remember, but apparently one Sunday, it was Easter, and they were waiting, my mother was waiting for my father to bring me down so we could go to church, and she heard music coming from my room, and she thought it was my father messing around. She's calling my dad. She's going, Tom, we don't have to. He goes, that's not me. So apparently whatever I was doing, and I have no memory of this. I have memory of my first piano lesson, but I have no memory of whatever the hell I did to make my parents realize, oh shit, he can actually play music. But do you have a memory of where you first realized, oh, I like this?
Well, when I was 14, I was in this singing competition, and I cried for 2 hours before going on stage. And I was like, I don't want to do this. I can't do this. And then my parents said to me, if you don't go on that stage, then you'll never do it again. Because if you don't face your fear,
right, yeah,
you will keep saying no. So I did it, and then I didn't want to get off stage, and then I realized I do want to do it. So. Yeah, and then now it's hard to get me off the stage. I've actually been kicked off the stage a few times because I went over time. I'm sorry.
It is a very.
Look, you were singing tunes as a child, as I understand it.
Yes.
Like just singing random tunes from nowhere.
Well, before I could speak, I would be humming a lot of tunes. So my parents would always say I was humming a lot, so I guess
that's what
Well, there you go. Yeah, there's your early childhood experience.
I have been singing, but humming, almost singing. But as soon as I could speak, I grabbed the mic and I started. I just was singing all my life, pretty much.
When did you start writing?
That's I don't know the age per se, but I know when I was in school, around grade 4, grade 5, I would be writing a lot of poetry and short stories. So around that time, I got into songwriting as well. So I was pretty young.
That's a pretty early age to start writing songs. That's.
Well, I just loved writing in general, anything pretty much. I just liked writing my feelings down, and then it just became a song eventually.
So that kind of leads into the next question, which typically a lot of people, I'm sure, ask most musicians, which is when you get ideas for songs, do they come in that form of words, or are there times where you actually, I've heard interviews with people where they say they've really actually heard a song in their head, almost like it was on the radio and a completed idea, and they have to get it out there. So does it come words first, or does that sometimes alternate?
Now, that's a good question, because sometimes I write the bridge first, sometimes I write the chorus or the verse, or sometimes just the music comes. So normally the music would come first, but it's all over the place. Whatever comes first, I start with that.
Do you find though that sometimes, I'm sure you must, constantly, I've heard stories too of musicians where, it'll be just the most random time and they have to just pull their phone out and just record an idea, because if they, you don't get it out right away, sometimes you lose it. Does it come to you like you're in the store and suddenly you're like, oh, I got to put that in there.
Yes.
Like, oh.
Yes, I have a voice recorder thingy on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
So if I think of lyrics or a melody, I'll just make up lyrics just to flow with the melody, so I don't forget the melody. But the lyrics are not what I might use, or maybe it might be what I use. Who knows, right? But I have done that.
Do you ever forget about some of them, and then you come back and you stumble on, you're like, wait, when did I do? Whoa, that's kind of cool. What is that?
It's amazing that sometimes I forget to write something down, or I forget to record something. And then a few weeks later, it just comes back.
Isn't it kind of cool, though, hearing it with some distance? I find that creatively, if I do something, whatever it is, I'm not a songwriter, but anything that I do, if I listen back to it right away, like it's better when I go back after kind of forgetting and not having a preconceived idea of whether I thought it was good or not, and then going back and listening and going, oh, okay, that's kind of, I forgot I did that. That's cool.
Or I might go back and change it completely.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, so that happens too.
Yeah.
So how does it... hang on a second.
Uh-oh.
Irma says, writing is one of the most beautiful ways to get out your feelings out, and so and for others to hear. So, sorry, that just threw me right off. How is it that we go from just all the writing and that's to deciding, oh my God, I'm going to actually record some stuff?
Right.
Actually, no, hold on a minute. I'm going to back up 1 second. You once said, to me anyway, that music helped you when you had some issues with social anxiety. You went through school, and music was the thing that really kept you going. Would you like to sort of...
Wow, you actually remembered that. Okay, cool.
It stuck with me, and it's something that I really wanted to touch on.
Yeah, and that leads to my song Breakthrough.
Yeah. So talk to us about that, and because, look, social anxiety is a part of, especially now more than ever before with what's happening with children these days. Yes. Social anxiety as a teen is a key thing that everybody is going to go through. Music helps you go through that. How?
I was very shy at the very beginning. Like, I would wear a hoodie and not show myself. I was very shy. So I got a job also. I worked at like a Mr. Sub place, and then I decided, I'm just going to focus on music, and I worked on music. But having a job helped me a lot to look at people and communicate. But I also wrote a song called Breakthrough that's about breaking through your fears, building confidence, believing in yourself, and how I started not getting I'm still shy, but I'm not as shy, is I just started building confidence and saying that I'll be okay. Like, I just had to do a lot of performing, a lot of interacting, and I helped myself. And I knew if I didn't help myself, I wouldn't get to where I am now, because being shy can hold you back from a lot of things.
I love that you said that. I'm just relating in my own silly world. I don't write, but I do a lot of performing and a lot of covers. And myself, living my life with a visual disability, you deal with a lot of insecurities and you deal with a lot of things. And I know myself, just being on stage, being around musicians, feeling accepted, feeling like you're a part of something. And now what I'm able to do, because I'm naturally extroverted, even though back in the day, your insecurities get the best of you. Maybe I won't talk to that person. Maybe that person doesn't want to talk to me. And then I'm able now more than ever to take my experiences on stage and do my best to take them off stage with me and the best parts of myself that it brings out of me, because I like those parts of me, and to bring those into other social settings. And then when you tell people that you're a musician, let's face it, being a musician is a pretty damn cool thing to be. And so when you tell somebody that you're a musician, right away people want to know, and they're curious, and where can I see you play? But it's a pretty damn cool thing to be.
And also being shy, I've had people come up to me and say, "You're so shy. How do you go on stage and sing in front of people?" Because that's my safe place.
Right. Yeah. It's where the world makes sense. You're in control.
On stage, I am like a different person.
Well,
on stage, I am like this shy person, but I'm still approachable. But it's like music helps me come forward, open up.
100%.
You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So what's the newest thing, I guess? What's the latest now? Are you working on new music, or are you out performing at all?
No. Not yet. We're still in a little bit of a, not lockdown, but there's still, you know.
Too bad you're not in BC. Too bad you're not in BC where Heather is. They just opened up pretty good from what she just told us last hour.
I could get you some gigs on Long Island.
But I am writing, but I will most likely be releasing new music next year. New year, new music.
We talked to our friend Heather last hour about the pandemic and how some people went in a creative spurt and other people just didn't want to know from it. Last year when the lockdown really hit and it was so jarring for everybody, how did that affect you creatively?
It was hard to write because everything I would write would be like, I'm stuck in my room. I can't get out. And I hate this life. And the reason I never recorded a song during the pandemic is because I didn't want to record something that's going to remind people of it when it's over. So everything was so negative, and I didn't want it to relate to the pandemic, because even if I think of a different subject, my mind would still go to
it was influenced.
Stuck in my house. Social distance. I just don't. And I just like, it's so hard to be creative when you're stuck in one room.
Whoa, 100%.
And you can't go out to be inspired.
100%.
But I do have songs I have written before the pandemic happened. So I do have music. But now that things are calming down and things are slowly opening, I'm trying to really work hard and not focus so much on the pandemic. But it's still difficult.
Of course.
And I'm trying. But you know, at some point I'll be showing it to another writer, and then we're going to collaborate, and then it's going to open up, and more things are going to, it's going to be better, because, you know, I don't know how people were writing during the pandemic. Like, it's difficult.
You know what it is? I really think it's the difference between, you really saw, and I know in my own life I saw this, Nick and I talked about it a lot on the air last year, the difference between people who, and I envy people that were like this. I definitely couldn't be like this, but there were people that, I don't want to say accepted it, but sort of were like, all right, well, this is my life. So, yeah, I had a nice day today. I got up, I made myself a cup of coffee. I went online, I did this thing, and it was good. And I'm like, bullshit, when can I go out? Like, you had to drag me kicking and screaming. So I think it's one of those situations where people like that who are just literally like, I'm just going to make the most of this situation. And other people are like, fuck this, is it over yet? Like, I think that's just what it is.
I did a lot of virtual performances online, but I honestly have to say it's not the same.
Oh, of course. Of course.
And I tried my best to do my best performance, but I'm much better in front of people outside.
No, I agree with that. I couldn't even bring, I had so many people that were asking me, they're like, are you doing any virtual? I'm like, no, I couldn't. I didn't touch a keyboard for 6 weeks. I couldn't even think about it.
But I didn't feel I did my best.
Right.
Because I like people cheering you
of course.
on and calling your name and talking and dancing and
it's
But I did it. I tried, but I just want to get back out there. you know.
What's interesting, though, by the way, is that this music won't be the only thing that comes. Well, I wouldn't say from you. I would say with you in this case, because you've been cast in another one of your passions as in one way. I'm referring to the film.
Oh, okay. Thank you for telling me, because I'm like, what? Yes. I'm in the Psycho Stalker Lego movie. Yeah. I'm playing Cassidy Summers and Catwoman.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
Well, I auditioned. My friend Jordan was making the movie, and by the way, thank you for asking me about the movie. But he told me first I auditioned for Catwoman, and I got it, and then he said I need somebody to be Cassidy, and I'm like, well, and then he showed me the script, and I'm like, Cassidy sounds a lot like me, like the way she is. So it was kind of like my personality, but a bit different.
Right.
I could put my little twist to it. But the movie comes out in September.
Oh, that's
18th.
very cool.
Let's go.
Yeah.
So I guess does that go hand in hand? I guess did you the music, the acting, being on stage, was that something that kind of all happened at the same time, or how did that work?
Well, the movie, I auditioned for it, I think, a month or two ago.
But I mean, even just doing acting in general, was that something that always was a part of you, or did that come when you got on stage to sing and you discovered? Yeah. Did
I ever want to be an actor, a voiceover? Yeah, I think it's cool because I would love to do like a cartoon character. That'd be so cool. But this is fun. I really enjoyed doing this, especially during the pandemic, doing a different side project, doing it for fun and having fun with it, being a different character, trying different things. This was like a practice thing for me. Like, I even told Jordan, I'm just going to try and see if I'm even good at it, because I've never done it. And then he liked what I did. So I'm like, okay, cool. Nice. So.
Yeah, I think, again, only speaking from experience, I think for me, that's always been what the radio thing has been. It's just another way to interact. And sometimes you do bits, or you come up with characters, or you creatively just come up with ideas, and you're talking to people. And, I have a microphone in my hand and I'm talking to people. So it's like, oh, it's another way to creatively express myself. And you can kind of accentuate different parts of yourself, exaggerate different parts of yourself. It's
I'm able to be somebody else and be silly and have fun.
It's very freeing
and try a different side of me,
Whether it's acting or music, or even just sometimes you co-host radio shows, things of that nature. It's this is. You love to perform.
Wait, so when I get fed up with you, I could get her as my co-host?
Bob?
What?
In your dreams.
Just saying, like, that would be really
I'm hired.
Nice. All right, the future's looking bright.
Yeah, I am.
Bob, this is my middle finger.
All right, guys. Nobody's getting rid of anybody here.
Not yet, anyway.
That's funny. That's really funny.
No, it's really cool. And what I love, too, about being around musicians and being around people that love music in general is it really does breed, for the most part. I mean, you hear nightmare stories all the time, but for the most part, when you're around people that have the right mentality and really enjoy music for the right reasons, you do bond with people very quickly. Right. And the vibes are more often than not very good when you're around people that appreciate music.
Right.
Well, this has been a real joy. How can people find you?
Look at Nick going right. He just went back into radio mode. That was professional of him.
Yeah, I know, right?
That was very professional.
They can go to Sabrina Fallah, FALLAH.com, and you can. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Snapchat.
Everything. My God, she's everywhere.
You know what? Just put my name in Google and it'll all come up for you. And I will follow you back because I love interacting and meeting new people and talking and having fun, you know?
She's not bullshitting, by the way. She's not bullshitting about that.
If you come to New York, we'll get you a gig on Long Island.
Really?
Oh my God, yeah. I've got lots of connections all over the place.
Sweet.
Yep.
All right.
Absolutely. So we'll look forward to that, and just look forward to more of your music. But we appreciate your time and your story, and we'll look forward to talking to you again. Don't be a stranger.
I won't.
Indeed.
And thank you for having me.
Pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Take it easy.
Thank you.
Rock on.